Hello, we'll just wait for some people to come in. I know it's a holiday. We will see. I'll give it a minute or two. Oh, hey, Kelly. I'm just going to give it a minute to see if anybody else comes in. That was Kelsa that just knocked the table. She's going to harass the bunny now that I'm on live. And today I'm going to let her get away with it. Oh boy, I'm having all these whatnot pop-ups right now. Hold on, I got to make sure somebody doesn't kill somebody here. Hey, Kelsa, come here. Come here. You want me to put you in a bed? Okay, we've got two people here. That's fantastic. Yeah, I have to wait until Friday. Let me just give you the short version. Um, Before I do, let me try to get. I need to pick up my cat and put her into the bedroom. So, hey, you want to play? Come over here. Let me catch her. What is it? Let me go off camera for just a second and get her out of here. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, thank you for waiting. Hi, I just had to put the cat in the bedroom. Hey, Jeffrey, thanks for coming in. Let me explain to you guys what's going on. I should have had a surgery this morning at 11:30 a.m. California time. I was actually talking to my doctor on his day off Monday night, and he didn't sound too well. He thought he was coming down with a cold. I can't say his name because I can't discuss, his medical situation. But I kind of recommended to him that he might want to go in and get a COVID test. So we got off the phone. He drove to an all-night pharmacy, grabbed a COVID test, and he's active for COVID right now. Hey, Tommy Gunn. Yeah, my doctor that's going to do the surgery was diagnosed Monday night with COVID. My choice is to have a man with COVID operate on me on Friday, or it puts my heart ablation off at least another month, and it will cancel out my kidney procedure, which has just been scheduled this week for February the 6th. So we have to weigh the risk. He believes he's going to be safe. His other patient is also coming in. He only had two people scheduled for this Wednesday. Now both of us are coming in Friday. My surgery will be at 11 a.m. rather than 11:30 a.m. I will be at the hospital by 9. He will be N95. I will not be able to wear a mask in the operating room, which is known as the cath lab. I will not be able to wear a mask because I will be incubated. Um, let me see what Jeffrey says here. He says, tons of bugs going around. My mom was supposed to go back into a nursing home, but they are shorthanded because of all the nurses are out from sickness. Yeah, everybody's sick right now. And I kind of remember my last ablation, and he was all like, wrapped up like a mummy and, mask. And I think even a facial thing over his face, like I could barely see him. So he won't, be breathing on me, but he will have to touch me because he's going to have to put 3 holes into my sort of a private area. He has to put in 3 catheters that'll go into my heart. So I'm just going to ask everybody here to pray for me and pray for the doctor. I've been fully vaccinated until last year, and this year I do have my flu vaccine. The last 2 seasons I have not been able to have my COVID vaccine because of the condition of my heart. I am in constant arrhythmias, which has thrown me back into AFib. I don't know if I'm in it right now. I don't want to test because I don't want to freak out. If it gets really bad, I'll be in the hospital and we'll know. I don't have to test to know. Um, Yeah, day 5, I believe that's still the standard county. First day is day 1. Yeah. Well, just everybody here, I'm just asking um, to take a few seconds out of your day on Friday. Put me in any prayer chains that you have. Um, the kidney procedure that I'm having in February is actually going to be a lot more complex and gnarly than the procedure that I'm having on Friday. Um, the reason for all of this, according to the doctors, is because of the horrific side effects that I have suffered from my cancer treatment. So basically, for now, I have survived breast cancer from I was self-diagnosed May 28th, 2019, and I was officially diagnosed June of 2019. Had chemo August through January 31st, I believe, of 2019, 2020. I had a mastectomy on the left side. Then I had 6 weeks of radiation, and I had 5+ years of hormone blocking cancer treatment that just ended October 1st. They did do a breast index test. Apparently, they were able to, don't like get grossed out by this TMI, but they were able to go retrieve my removed breast that was removed March 13th, 2020. It's in a medical lab somewhere. They were able to retrieve it and test it, and the test results came back that it would not benefit me any further to stay on that medication. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. I appreciate your friendship. So, I was diagnosed as stage 3, grade 3. I was later downgraded after surgery to a 2A. As far as I know, I'm cancer free. We will not use the R word here because the R word for cancer, that's only a temporary situation. Cancer at this moment is not curable. Well, unless go on Instagram and Facebook every day and you'll see a new cure every day. But, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeffrey. I hope your cousin is still alive. Um, I survived that, but I did have a very close friend the other day, out of frustration, say to me, why do these things keep happening to you? And I said, because this is the side effect from stage 3 breast cancer. This is the side effect not from the cancer itself, but from the treatment of the breast cancer. So if I didn't have the treatment, I would have already died. I would have died within a year. The treatment did save my life for now, but it has caused horrific side effects. That's why I'm disabled. That's why I'm almost bankrupt. I'm not on here to ask for money, but my friend Lisa in Florida, she did start my GoFundMe back in 2019. It was kind of like I wasn't really like for it at the time, but I now thank God that she did that because my cancer happened during the pandemic. Um, that's why hours within hours after my breast removal, I was kicked out of the hospital because the pandemic had started literally that day. Everything shut down the next day. So I had the surgery in the late afternoon. I was out in the morning, and by the next day, the pandemic was declared. Now, I never really was affected by the lockdowns because I still had to leave my house every day for radiation. So, yeah, and I couldn't, when I wasn't in medical treatment, I couldn't go anywhere anyway. So the lockdown really didn't affect me. In fact, it actually kind of helped me because I did get some funds from the federal government, and that combined with my then the small GoFundMe that I had, it sustained me. Uh, and then eventually I was able to get my disability. But I just, I went to my mailbox yesterday to see if I had any, late Christmas cards. And sadly, I just had I had a mailbox full of medical bills. And even though I worked since I was 17 and I do have a lot of Social Security disability compared to most people, it's still not enough to live anywhere in this country. Even if I moved to Oklahoma, it wouldn't be enough to live. So um, every time I go to the hospital now, I get another ambulance bill. I get emergency room bills that are not covered by the hospital. They're all separate. So, if anybody wins the lottery out here, loan me some money. No, but I'm not here to ask for money. My GoFundMe technically is still open. It is linked on my main page. But no, I'm not here to ask for money because I know everybody's suffering right now. Um, you know, I do have an offer that I could go and live next door to my cousin in Oklahoma. Um, it wouldn't be free, but it would be cheaper. But I'd rather live in the backseat of my car in California than to ever go to Oklahoma. No offense to anybody from Oklahoma. I that would just be the end of me. I have too many medical things going on here. I have too many specialists. Um, yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeffrey, and thank you so much, Jeffrey Button, for your service. Hi, Edgar. I'm sorry I didn't see your name. I'm on a small screen right now. Let me see who else I've missed. Thank you for coming. Oh, Jackson Cheever. Your mom died. Can give me a shout out, please. My name is Jackson. Okay, shout out for Jackson Cheever. Do you have a YouTube channel, Jackson? Downtown Brown. No, this can't. This is not about cancer, Downtown Brown. If you're still here, this is about April Davis PI and my life post survival. This is not a cancer channel, but I'm just explaining for those that are confused as to why my bad luck continues and I still have, all these surgeries lined up is because of my cancer treatment. But no, this is definitely not a cancer channel. Yeah, yeah, I do. Uh, my diet is okay, Downtown Brown, but thank you. I really appreciate anybody, throwing out there any advice. But yeah, so we're not going to talk about the cancer very much. I don't like to. Um, but this is why I have the heart problem. I do not have heart disease that they've been able to find. Um, they won't do further testing because it would put me at more risk. But I do have electrical issues believed to have been caused by red devil chemo. That's also why I've had multiple kidney stones. All of my stones are gone except for one. They all pass on their own without me even having knowledge that they pass. I know a few months ago I was starting to have an adverse reaction to diet root beer. And I think that's because I was passing a few stones. So I think when my last and final stone it gets shocked with a shock wave. And after I have my stent removed and all of that recovers down there, I think I'm going to go get myself like a 6 pack of diet root beer. Yeah, I would love to have a diet root beer right now. Um, I have gone off red meat since cancer. I had went off all meat since cancer, but in the second year I was diagnosed with bone disease, and that's that goes right along with the hormone blocking and the cancer treatment. So I had to start eating chicken again. I feel bad about it, but I have to have some protein, so I do eat chicken. No more red meat, but all of this that I have right now, the heart situation and the remaining stone that is the size of a green pea, it's it's believed by doctors to have been caused by my red devil chemo. Um, but I don't really want to mention cancer again. If anybody out here knows Alaskan Assassin, you'll know that he made a lot of channel stickers for people this past week for Christmas, and mine is bomb, but it does have the pink cancer ribbon like in the center. So I'm not sure that I'm going to use it because I'm really trying to move on from that. Some of the chemo can be wicked. My daughter's heart would be a mile a minute, and you could feel her chest pound. Yeah, no, I've been there. She isn't as bad, but she still gets it. By the way, she has been born with. Oh, she was born with it. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't born with any heart problems. I've had a crappy immune system. I had a lot of childhood illness. Um, I had a throat surgery at 19 that I should have had at age 4. So, my childhood was pretty wrecked. Then my 20s were pretty wrecked. The only really decade I had that I only had one medical emergency was in my 30s. In my 40s, things started to go downhill, and by the time I was 50, I was sort of almost dead. Um, a lot of medical mistakes were made. Some of it's my fault, but you know, uh, doctors just they didn't want to listen. They didn't want to hear me, and all of this happened. And had things been discovered sooner, had I been treated sooner, I probably wouldn't be in the position that I am now. So for those that are just coming in, I do have a heart ablation. It's a pulse field ablation. This is a new kind. The one I had before can burn the esophagus and kill you. I did not have a burnt esophagus. There will not be a risk of a burnt esophagus this time because this is pulse field. They'll be using shock rather than heat. Instead of a 4-hour procedure, it'll be more like an hour and 10 or 15 minutes, but it's still a heart procedure. I'll still have 3 catheters through my leg, through my groin, into my heart. I should be able to get out the same day. I was able to get out the same day 20 months ago when I had that much more serious procedure, but I was back in the hospital within 2 days, and it took me about a month before my heart was beating properly again. Now, I do have to go off my blood thinners at least 5 days before my February procedure. I thought that was going to have to be postponed as well, but because they're getting me in 2 days later, even though the doctor technically is still sick, um, I won't have to postpone the February 6th procedure unless, my heart is out of rhythm because, I have to go off blood thinners for that, and that can cause a stroke. So, but I have to have this procedure because if I don't, that could kill me too. So, oh, hi, Carl. Hope you feel better. Happy New Year. You have cardiomyopathy. Oh, me too. What do I not have? Well, I have tachycardia where my heart goes too fast. And I will have to go off some of my meds tomorrow morning, and I will have to go off more meds tomorrow night. So rather than taking an Uber to the hospital, my neighbor, thank God for my neighbor's going to drive me and drop me off there because I'll probably already be in bad shape. I'm not in very good shape right now. Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere. Like I said, I'd rather live in my car than to live elsewhere. I'm a diehard Californian and I'm a diehard Angelino, and that will never change. And, even if I moved and California had the worst earthquake they've ever had and they fall into the ocean, I would be upset if I wasn't here for that because, my heart is here. My friends are here. My friends are my family. I don't have any family left. I have my cousin in Oklahoma. That's about it, and his family. But I haven't seen him in 5 decades. So my friends and my YouTube subscribers and my viewers, you guys are my family. My friends have been my strength my entire life since I was born, and that's what's getting me through right now. I had planned to go live tonight, but I'm going to be on a live with Mama Bird. For those of you in the Gold community, Mama Bird's going to be going live at 6 p.m. California time, 8 p.m. their time. Okay, Maud, you need to do your job here. We need to, let me put Virgil, we got to put him, we've got to remove him. Okay, bye-bye, Virgil. Yeah. Yeah, some troll just came in and said, stay in California, we don't want you here. Maybe he was from Oklahoma and got offended. Bye-bye, Virgil. Have a nice holiday. It's good for my algorithm, even when the trolls come in. Yeah, are you on the East Coast, Jeffrey? Yeah, you are. I know where you are. Yeah, so yeah, it's actually on Mama Bird's channel because I guess GP is not going to be like doing lives anymore on his channel. So for those in the Gold community that are on here right now, if you want to go to the New Year's Eve gathering, go to Mama Bird. And GP obviously will be there, but it's going to be broadcast on her channel. And I will be, saying hi to everybody because I'm not, in the hospital. Hello, Panwell. Thanks for coming in. So, yeah, I'll just say it one more time. My surgery was postponed today because my doctor has COVID. My doctor will still have COVID when I have the surgery on Friday. He will be N95 and he'll be in a robe and probably a shield, and he will have gloves, and they think I will be okay. The other person that was postponed as well will be also having their surgery the same day. I'm number 2 in line. Hopefully, he'll still be standing by then, considering, I'll have wires in my heart, and it's a very precise thing. You don't want somebody who's feverish and dizzy. If I get COVID, that'll be it for me because I, did not have the vaccine this year. Um, I won't even have to worry about my kidney procedure if that happens. So we got to pray that doesn't happen. Um, Everybody's sick right now. He's probably not the only one in the hospital who's sick. Um, it's just that normally when I'm in the hospital, I do wear my mask at all times, but I will not be able to wear my mask while I'm under anesthesia because I'll be incubated. Um, this should be a much easier procedure to recover from, considering I've already had the first procedure. So even though I do have my arrhythmias right now, it's not as bad as it was. They do not know if this procedure will get rid of my PACs. It depends on what part, what chamber. If it's the upper chambers that those are coming from, then it will help. If it's from the lower chambers, it will not help. This will not get rid of what's called PVCs. I will still have PVCs. It's just a question mark. It's a 50-50 chance that I will have PACs, which are probably triggering my AFib. But with the amiodarone increased, it's semi-controllable right now. I still need the surgery. I will have it. Um, I'm just going on here to tell everybody to put me in your prayers, whether you believe or you don't believe. I'm surprised that I still do believe after all that I've been through. But yeah, I'm not an extremely religious person. I don't go to church out here in California. Um, I was raised a Christian. I gotta have the faith. That's all anyone can have. I've had a lot of people since yesterday tell me to stay positive. Um, it is what it is. I have to tell you, I'm not thrilled about this. I was hoping that they would be able to get me in next week, but they won't be able to bump anybody else back. Um, so I would have to wait until the end of January, and I don't think physically I can survive that long. And definitely, there's going to be some kidney issues before then. I still may not make it to my February 6th surgery. Something may happen. And then I'm going to be in a very bad situation because I have to be on, well, not only do I have to be on the blood thinners for the rest of my life, but I have to definitely be on them for 30 days post procedure. Last time it took me almost a month to finally kick back into rhythm. I was hospitalized multiple times after the surgery, but this one is a much more mild surgery. It's only an hour, 10 minutes, and, you know, let's hope that I'll be able to walk out of there and go to sleep. The last 2, 3 experiences in that hospital have been horrible. Usually I have very good experiences there. They used to even have very good food there, but they changed their vendors. So the food is horrible. In fact, that hospital, they no longer even serve a ginger ale to people that are feeling nauseous. A hospital with no ginger ale. Yeah, can you believe that? Unbelievable. They have ice chips, but they don't have ginger ale anymore. Oh, Brazil loves me. I love Brazil. I know a couple gals in LA from Brazil. Beautiful country. I appreciate that. Brazil, might you, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and share my channel and just have everybody, give me good wishes. And as I said earlier, my cancer GoFundMe is still out there, but I'm not asking anybody for funds. Um, at some point, I'm just not going to be able to pay the medical bills anymore, and they're just going to have to accept that it is what it is. Whatever they get from, I have early Medicare because of my cancer disability, so whatever they can get out of Medicare, that's what they're going to have to accept as full payment. Whether that's the emergency room staff, the ambulance drivers, the LA Fire Department, the hospital, whatever they can get from Medicare, which covers most of it, that's just going to have to be it. And I know it'll ruin my credit. I've had perfect credit my entire life, even with everything I've been through. I've never let my credit go bad, but you know, I can't say the word here, but right now I don't give two F's. It's amazing how things like that were so important are not important anymore. The most important thing is that I stay alive that I can come home and I can be here to take care of Kelsa Kitty and Amelia Kinsley Bunny. That's all I want out of life. My life is pretty much non-existent anymore. I mean, I'm alive, hashtag not dead yet. But as far as, happiness, joy, positivity, that's all kind of gone out the window. Um, I do appreciate my Gold community friends. I look very forward to going live with Mama Bird. Mama Bird and GP sent me something. I won a prize in their Christmas show, and I just opened it a couple days ago, thinking that there was just a prize in there. But they actually sent me a card, and they sent me some stickers. And Mama Bird put a candy bag together, and I was so happy I cried. And not sad tears, but oh, my YouTube channel just went ding ding. That means I just got another subscriber. I just hit 1,600. And you know what? That's kind of sad because today is December 30th. So I think today is the 5th anniversary of my sad little channel. Yeah, 5th anniversary. And this is what I have. But you know what? It's better to have the 1,600 that I have and all the other people that are watching than to have nothing. This is good for my mental health. This is a good distraction. It keeps me distracted. In fact, right after I got off the phone with the doctor in my ride, the hospital called and spoke to me for about an hour. The pre-op people called and wanted to do a little pre-check-in. That took an hour, and the phone kept cutting out. We're also having major storm. We had a November storm, which I missed most of because I was hospitalized. Then we had the big Christmas storm, and now we're having the New Year's storm, which it's really cool because after what happened last January, we basically burned to the ground. So yeah, and some of those fires were really getting close. I'm not in a fire zone here, but let me tell you, I'm really close to the Hollywood Hills, so it was really gnarly. It was also gnarly when the Palisades fire jumped over the hill into the valley, and people could see it from the valley. So, like, yeah, I know quite a few people that lost their homes in Malibu through that. So, at least I have, for now, I have a roof over my head. My neighbor who's driving me to the hospital went to Trader Joe's last night, picked up a few items for me. So I've got, I've got a nice Trader Joe's chicken marsala with mashed potatoes, and I've got a couple of Trader Joe's quesadillas. She said they were out of their waffles because they were still on the truck, but that's okay. So I got two quesadillas, and I got a big old meal of chicken marsala, um, which I will probably eat tonight for New Year's Eve. I'll probably have a quesadilla tomorrow night, and then by midnight tomorrow I won't be eating anything. Um, and as of tomorrow morning, I will have to start withdrawing some medication. I will be withdrawing the really gnarly medication tomorrow night, and just hope that I can make it through tomorrow night until I'm in the hospital at 9 o'clock Friday morning. If all goes well, I should be home by Friday afternoon sometime and be able to sleep, in my own tie bed. And I always sleep good here. After surgery, I don't sleep well in the hospital. I don't sleep in the hospital at all. I could be there for 100 days and I'd be awake for 100 days. Like it's just, it's like a torture chamber. The last 3 times I've been there has been torture. Um, Hopefully I'll have a nice sleep on Friday, and I probably won't sleep much Thursday night because my heart will be stressing without my medication. But it is what it is. I survived last time, and I was in much more bad shape the first ablation than I am for the second ablation. This is just kind of considered a cleanup job. The gold community, Kelly, that's the people that are the mailbox miners and the kitchen miners and the couch miners like me. Um, the people that go and do the mining, the gold community. Of course, some of us in the gold community go out and mine too and prospect. But yeah, the gold community that's been a wonderful thing. That's where I met Jeffrey. I don't know if Jeffrey's still here, but I'll be on Mama Bird's channel tonight. I won't actually be in the stream, but I will be watching the stream, and I'll be contributing to the chat. And yeah, if you've been subscribed for more than 48 hours, you would be available to win a prize. But if you're not already a subscriber, even though you're free to watch her and to subscribe, you wouldn't be eligible for the prizes that are going to be given out tonight. Good luck, Jeffrey. I hope to see you there. Um, I don't know when I'll be able to put together the I want uh, not a cleanup buddy, which I already have, but I won something from Flower Gold Wizards that was actually paid for and sent by GP and Mama Bird. I forget what it's called. I'm sure as soon as I go off chat here, I'll think of the name of it. But it's for the micro gold, like for the black sands. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'll have an opportunity to use that here in Los Angeles. I maybe I'll do a trade with somebody in the gold community. Yeah, Karen, thanks for coming in. Just a quick recap. I was supposed to have surgery today. My surgery is now rescheduled for Friday. My surgeon, who I cannot name here, has active COVID. That's why it got canceled for Wednesday, but it is rescheduled for Friday. Last Monday, this week Monday, I was also scheduled February 6th for my kidney procedure. It looks like I will not have to postpone that after all, since they are redoing they're going to do the today's scheduled surgery will be Friday, and that'll give me enough time to be on the medication for 30 days and then to go off of it for 5 days. Hopefully my heart will be back in rhythm. I actually have much more chance of something going wrong with the kidney procedure than the heart procedure, just because of having to go off the blood thinners for that. Um, but it is what it is. They don't want me to bleed to death from the procedure, so that procedure can also cause organ damage, and it's going to be a crap show. And the scariest part of that is I'll be coming home with a stent that I've been told is very uncomfortable. Some people go into septic shock, and it's over. Um, I won't take narcotics. I didn't take narcotics with my breast removal, so I'll have to live off of Tylenol and probably alternate with Motrin or something after that surgery. Um, yeah, Karen, I'm with you, girl. Yeah, I'm with you, friend. Uh, and for any of those that just came in late and they want to know why, one of my besties just asked me the other day. She's like, "Why is all this happening to you?" And the reason that it's happening to me is because of my breast cancer treatment. Um, oh wow, your sister-in-law came out of sepsis. I'm glad. Well, I'm glad she came out of it. Um, so yeah, I'll start doing with medication withdrawal tomorrow morning and tomorrow night, and my neighbor's going to drive me to the hospital Friday. And that's the only day in the next 10 days that it's not supposed to rain here. So we've had crazy rain. We had our pre-Thanksgiving storm, most of which I missed because I was hospitalized. I was so upset that I missed it. Anytime I'm in the hospital, that's when we have a major storm. Then we had our Christmas storm, and now we're having our New Year's storm. But for the rest of you that don't live in California, you guys would laugh. It's a little bit of rain. It's not a big deal. She had a heart attack, implants, and sepsis. She's a lucky girl. Yes, she is. To still be alive? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so, yeah, the kidney stent is going to be extraordinarily uncomfortable. But, people survive it. I had my left breast removed without any narcotics. So if I can survive that, the, the stent's probably not going to be such a big deal. But I'll be here on my own, and I'll have to get in my car and drive I have to have a post-op x-ray for that so they can schedule me to come into the urology office to have it removed. And that's going to be a harder removal than having my breast drains removed. So, yeah, that's not going to be fun. But I'll be happy to get it out when it's time. Um, yeah, it's not going to be fun. None of this is going to be fun, but, the heart surgery tomorrow is a very simple procedure compared to what I'm going to be going through in February. The biggest hurdle for this week is that hopefully I won't get COVID from the doctor who has an active case of COVID, and he was diagnosed on Monday. Yeah. So, but they're going ahead with everybody's surgeries that were canceled Wednesday. They're going ahead on Friday, and it's either that or the end of January, and I can't wait that long because either the heart will give out or the most likely the kidney stone will move, and that'll be it. Um, yeah, life is a lot more complicated post chemo, post radiation. There's all these things that I have to deal with now. Yeah, it's a recurrence of AFib, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. And they're going to do a different type of ablation. They're going to do pulse field ablation, which is a very new procedure. My doctor's done thousands of the other kind. He's only done about 100 and some of the new kind, but it's safer. I won't have an esophageal burn that can kill me. So, yeah. And, there was some a-hole that came in here earlier that said, is this a cancer channel? No, it's not. And there was another a-hole that came in here and said, glad you're staying in California because we don't need you. So, to those people, that's, thank you. Thanks for boosting my YouTube algorithm. Because you know what? Even thumbs down or bad negative comments, they help the algorithm. That helps the channel. So it doesn't really bother me. Some big YouTubers get really upset about that. I laugh. It's laughable to me. Um, I know those people are losers and they're not, successful PIs. They're not rock star PIs living in Los Angeles, living the dream. Yeah. So, yeah, showing their unintelligence, I think, Karen. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Hello, hello, Shohei. Looked like Shohei for a minute. Okay, thank you so much, Tommy Gun NG. Oh, you're late. I'll just do a really quick recap so that the rest of the people watching don't have to hear this. I was supposed to be in surgery, Kermudge. Is this Rob or Sarah or both? Um, yeah, I want to call you Shohei. Oh, these are just my reading glasses. I've had eye surgery, so I don't need glasses anymore. But I can see a cargo plane coming from Anchorage in Los Angeles at 40,000 feet, but I can't see what's in front of me without the. Oh, okay. Hi, Rob and Sarah. Hope you guys are well. You've been through a lot. Everybody, if you're not subscribed, please go to Kermudge in Alaska. They're wonderful people. They're some of my most favorite people on YouTube. I was supposed to be in surgery at 11:30 this morning. Hi, James. But my doctor Monday night called me. He was kind of ill. I suggested that he go take a COVID test. He did, and he was positive. His Wednesday surgeries were canceled. His Tuesday clinicals were all done by Zoom. I'm probably guessing that he's probably still contagious, but he is redoing the Wednesday schedule on Friday. And if I don't, hey, Stephen Stark, if I don't opt with the Friday schedule, I will be postponed until the end of January, which is impossible for me, not only heart wise, but I have my kidney procedure on February the 6th. And I will have to be on certain meds post heart ablation 30 days, and then I'll have to be off those meds 5 to 7 days before the kidney procedure. So if I don't want the kidney procedure any further delayed than it already is, because that should have been done in January, um, but it has to wait until February. I have to go in and take the risk that a doctor with COVID who's going to be totally wrapped up like a mummy, I have to take the COVID risk. Even though if I do get COVID, I will probably kill me. I'm not vaccinated this year due to my heart. I was vaccinated before. Yeah, what a mess. That's the story of my life, Kermudge. This is nothing new for me, my friend. Um, I did have a bestie say to me the other day, why does this keep happening to you? And I don't want to talk about this anymore, but it's because of the treatment that I had for stage 3 cancer. I will be dealing with issues for the rest of my life. I shouldn't even be alive right now. I am. If I hadn't survived this, yeah, give me those yellow hearts. Thank you so much. Give me the thumbs up. I was thinking yellow hearts, whatnot. I just saw something go by on my screen really quick, so I think those were thumbs ups. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. Um, I am physically spent from this. I am mentally, emotionally completely drained from this. Um, and I am financially almost finished from all of this. I'm not going to ask anybody for money, but if anybody wins the lottery, just go to my links in the main channel page and you'll see that my My cancer GoFundMe that was started in 2019, it's still active as far as I know, and all my other links are there. But no, I'm not asking anybody for money. Everybody's having a mess right now. Everybody's going through something. Um, you know, I've had several people tell me that I wouldn't have made it this far if I wasn't a strong woman. So, not as strong as I was. I still think some of my friends are stronger than me. But, some of those friends that were stronger than me they're not with us anymore. So, there's not too many people left in my corner. So, uh, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. If you are in the gold community, I'm just going to give you a reminder that at 8 o'clock Central and 6 o'clock Pacific, Mama Bird and GP will be going live for New Year's Eve on Mama Bird's channel. So I hope to see all you guys there. Um, Even if you're not a religious person, please pray for me on Friday. And oh, you'll be there, James, of course. I will see you there, James. I think I'll see probably Stephen Stark and Jeffrey Button. Hope you can make it to Kermudge. Anybody's welcome to come. GP and Mama Bird, they're lovely people. I got my Christmas prize from them, and I just opened it a couple days ago, and I found a Christmas card in there, some stickers, and Mama Bird made me a bag of Christmas candy, and I was so happy I cried. Um, your brother had stage 3 throat cancer. He is 2 years cancer free, cannot produce much saliva, but each day more is coming back. Yeah, it takes a while. Um, yeah. Um, Happy New Year's, everyone. Tucking you safely in my prayers. April, thank you so much, Karen. Yeah, I just wanted to give an update because a lot of people thought I was having surgery today. Um, the biggest concern is that I don't catch COVID in the operating room since I will not be able to be masked in the operating room because I'll be incubated. The doctor will be totally wrapped in hopefully a gown. He will be wearing gloves, a mask, and probably a shield. So, um, and he should be feeling a lot better on Friday. They used to have a 5-day barrier, but now it's only 48 to 72 hours from time of diagnosis. So he should be doing much better. He's had it before, and for him, he says it's like a mild cold. But if that hit me, um, I'd be pretty much done. Considering that the shape that my heart is in, and it would prevent me from having my kidney procedure, and um, I have to walk with a cane now. I'm not that old, but I have to walk with a cane now because my body is so weak from all this that's happened. Without my friends and my neighbors, you know, people helping with um, dropping off groceries, and some people taking out my trash sometimes. Like, I won't be able to lift anything after this surgery, not because of my heart, but because I'll have 3 holes in my upper right leg, you know, just below that private area. I still have the scars, I think, from last time, although I haven't looked at them lately. So yeah, I'll have catheters. I'll have wires through a catheter going through um, my upper thigh. Um, yeah, you know what? I had Kermudge. I had all the shots from when they came out, which I think was 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. Whenever they came out, I had them all. And then in 2023, after my last vaccine, that's when my heart started to go out. And they believe it was related to my Red Devil chemo rather than my shots. But, I think it's a combination of everything. Um, but whatever it is, after that, like in 2024 and 2025, I did have my flu shot, but I did not have the COVID shots just because of the condition of my heart. Um, wow. Yeah, a lot of people did. And maybe it saved your life, though, from, dying from COVID. While I was in the hospital in November and December 2023, my mom, who never left the house where she lived, except to take my handicapped nephew to his little handicap bus, she would just walk him to the bus and walk to the mailbox, but that was it. She never left the house. They wouldn't let her leave the house because of her age, and she still managed to get COVID. She did not catch it from a family member because she had it first, and the COVID threw her into AFib. She was in the hospital at the same time I was. I was able to get out of the hospital. She went to hospice for a matter of 5 or 6 hours and died the same day. So you know, they said it wasn't the COVID that killed her, though. It was just, her heart gave out. And then my only sibling, she freaked out thinking that I was going to die the same week, too. I almost did multiple times. But I'm still here because, I wasn't 84 years old when all that happened. Uh, you know, uh, I've not been well most of my life. So um, I'll never live to be 84, that's for sure. I hope just to make it to 64. That's usually on my dad's side of the family, and everybody's usually dead by 64 or 65. But my cousins are still alive, and they're much older than me, so that's good. Um, let's see. Jeffrey says, I believe I got COVID just after my son died back in December 2019. I didn't get the shot, but I don't go out much in winter. I just hibernate. Okay. Yeah, that's good to stay in. Yeah. Uh, never say never. You were sick for 3 months. Yeah, if I get COVID from the doctor in the surgery, I probably am not going to make it because something's going to happen with that kidney, and I won't be able to go off the blood thinner because my heart won't recover, and I'll bleed out from it. So just pray for me that I'm going to make it through the surgery. I'm going to make it through the anesthesia. I'm not going to catch COVID and or anything. And I've been COVID free my entire life, so I've had everything else, from here to the moon, but I've never had COVID. Um, positive thoughts. You were like the fourth person that said that, Karen. Yeah, my neighbor said that. The guy at my mailbox store said that. A nurse named Cindy just called me right before I got online and talked to me for an hour to do pre-op check-in. Yeah, I'm not even at the hospital yet, and they're already checking me in. Um, and they said everybody's sick right now. Like everybody's sick right now. But she was kind of shocked when I said, "Oh, did you know that? I can't say, I can't really shouldn't be discussing this, but the doctor has COVID." And she was like, "The doctor has COVID?" And then she was just like, I could hear the sound in her voice, like, you know, I, hopefully he'll have enough protective gear on that it's not gonna affect me. And there could be anybody else in that room working with me that's sick. There's flu type A right now. There's flu type B. There's subvariant K, which apparently is extremely deadly. There's norovirus going around right now. That's what I call the puke and poop flu. You know, any of those conditions would just I'd be done. Um, but you know what? I've been in and out of medical treatment since prior to COVID because of the cancer, so I've never caught anything. Um, yeah, he will look like a mummy because that's how I remember him from the last time. But I was already kind of drugged out by then. But I could barely, I recognized his glasses. I could see like his eyes. And I said, you know what? I chose you, and you do a good job. And remember, I chose you. And that's the last thing I remember is saying I chose you. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up in the first post-op, and it was pretty bad because you don't even want to know what they had to do to me there. So, welcome, Iran. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, send me some good thoughts from. Are you in Iran? Iran? Thanks for the good thoughts. Yeah, your daughters and family had flu B. Which one is flu B? I know that's not as bad as flu A, as far as I know. Um, oh, your name is Halo. Hello, Halo. Yeah, I really appreciate like everybody. I want to be in everybody's good thoughts. My surgery was supposed to be today, but my doctor got COVID, and they now just this morning rescheduled it for Friday. And if I don't have it Friday, I can't have it till the end of January. My heart won't make it that long. It'll do more damage to my heart, and then it would postpone my. If I got that surgery the end of January, I wouldn't be able to have my kidney surgery until probably first, second week of March. And that's too long. I can't. I've been waiting since November for that. So they still threw up and had oh, that's bad. I feel sorry for them. I would like to wrap my arms around them, you know. Well, over the internet, not in person, obviously, but I'll have loving thoughts for them, healing thoughts, good vibes. Yeah, like everybody's going through something right now. It's just that, I know there's people out there that are going through worse things than me, you know? Look what happened to darling Christopher Reeve, and he held on for another 9.5 years with all that he went through. He really was a Superman, in my opinion. And anytime I get down, I think about that guy, and I think about, like, wow, like nobody else would have survived 9.5 years in the situation that he was in. I wouldn't have survived 9.5 minutes, more or less 9.5 years, but it was his goodwill. Oh, South Carolina has a measles outbreak. That's where my other cousin lives. She lives in Myrtle Beach. Her kids are grown though, but she has a couple of I think she has 3 grandkids now. So, wow. Well, I'm sure they're all vaccinated because she is a pharmacist. So I don't think she would, you know, allow her kids to not vax their kids. So they're probably okay. Um, yeah, I had to have the measles shot twice because when I went to high school, they found out that the people that were in my age group that had the measles shots when we were little, that for some reason the years that I was in the right age group of people where they rejected that shot or something. They said it didn't work, and so everybody that was in my age group had to be people from the late 60s, early 70s had to be revaxxed. So I had to be revaxxed going into high school, and that wasn't fun. So I'm doubly vaxxed against the measles. Thank gosh. That's one thing I've never had. I did have the chicken pox when I was 6 years old. Well, actually 7. I just turned 7. Yeah, they didn't have any vaccines for that back in my day. Um, Gosh, hopefully in the next few generations they'll have cancer vaccines and nobody will have cancer, and then we'll have so many people. It'll be like China. Well, there'll just be, a billion people here, and there won't be enough food for everybody because everybody will live to they're like 125 or 150 years old. Oh, you had measles and mumps? Oh, yeah. I think there was a shot for the mumps for people my age group. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was part of the measles shot or not, but whatever shot I had all my childhood vaccines, and then I had to be revaccinated for measles when I was in ninth grade. So yeah, I've had multiple tetanus shots too, although I think I'm expired now on that, but I'm not too worried about that today. Yeah, and I've had my flu shot, but apparently the flu shot it doesn't match up with this subvariant K this year. So, but I'm sure it would help. Just like COVID shots. People still get COVID, but then they don't get it as bad. Um, but if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have got any of these COVID shots, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'm pro-vaccine, but with everything that's happened to my heart, I maybe I shouldn't have done it. You know, I just don't know anymore. But I don't have it now, and I'm gonna have somebody with active COVID operating on my heart on Friday. So that's why I need your good thoughts. I need your prayers. Um, Vinny, you guys play the lottery and you win $1 million. You can put a little money in my cancer GoFundMe to help me pay for some of these medical bills. Yeah, apparently my financial aid assistance that I had with Providence is now expired, and these ablations are usually around 200 grand. So yeah, they're going to have to accept whatever they get from Medicare. Yeah, they did rush the COVID shot, but they had to do something. My aunt, the only aunt I ever had, she was in a nursing home in Tulsa and she died from COVID, and she was going to have the shots 2 weeks later. Uh, I don't think they have any, Kelly. I just hope that the kitty stops harassing the bunny and she's nicer to the bunny, because the bunny's not a kitty and kitty's wanting to play a little rough, and I can tell the bunny doesn't like it. So it's kind of a constant battle. But when I came home from the hospital the last 3 times, they were both still alive and unharmed. So hopefully she would never hurt her. She's in a timeout right now. so that I could, as soon as I went live, she decided she was going to chase the bunny, and bunny needs to sleep today. Yeah, your sister-in-law lost her 30-year sister from COVID. Oh, she was only 30? Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, my mom had it, which contributed to her death. Wasn't the primary cause of her death, but that with the AFib that she got at the last moment contributed to her death. My aunt died, my only aunt that I've ever had died in a nursing home from COVID. Um, a celebrity that had COVID was somebody I actually knew back in the day, David Crosby of Crosby, Stills and Nash. He died from COVID. I'm trying to think. I think there was somebody else that I knew. I think it was somebody famous that might have passed. I just can't remember right now. But um, yeah, my mom was contributory, and my aunt, and the only person else that I could think of who I obviously didn't know well, but I worked with him about 3 times, 2 or 3 times, was David Crosby. And he survived everything else, and then something like that took him out. And I don't want that to happen to me after surviving breast cancer, a heart ablation, 4 cardioversions, and kidney stones. I don't want to survive all that and then be taken out by COVID because, they don't have an extra slot next week for me in the operating room. Yeah, that's true. Nobody seems to care about it anymore. But, I've dodged the bullet for 5 years. But, I hardly ever leave the house. I've been too sick. But I've been in lots of hospitals and, lots of hospital stays and lots of doctors' offices. And I went through chemo and radiation during COVID, and, I'm still here. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and he's going to take all the precautions that he has to. And let's just pray for the doctor, too. Not just say a prayer for me. Let's say a prayer for my doctor. Um, Bless him that he's saving lives. He's one of the best electrophysiology cardiologists in the country. So I almost consider him like a personal friend now. You know, he called me at home on Monday night on his day off, and we talked for 40 minutes. What doctor does that? Uh, we've been through so much. Your YouTube friends online don't get me sick, and I meet them in late spring to early fall. The cold and flu are for you. Okay. uh, yeah. Basically, we have 2 seasons out here, Jeffrey. We have summer, which is most of the time, and flu season. Because flu season goes October through May out here. And our summer goes August, September, October, sometimes into November. So sometimes we have summer and flu season at the same time. Um, I guess because of this extraordinary rain that we're having, we don't have to worry about the fire danger right now. That's good to know. Although we did have a huge gas leak in Castaic a couple nights ago because we've had so much rain that the land shifted. Just in the northern part of LA County, the land shifted, and gas was literally, it was blowing out of the ground on a 36-inch pipe, and it was blowing so hard that it looked like smoke. Everybody thought there was a fire, and it was the natural gas blowing into the air like a geyser. And it got so bad that before they could turn it off, they said you could smell it in the valley. And I'm very far from there, like probably 40 minutes, but I walked out to pick up a package at my front door and I could smell it. And I don't have a good sniffer because of all the treatment I've had. Like my nose barely works anymore, but I could smell that gas. And I was like, oh, they told everybody up there to shelter in place. We've sometimes joked we have 2 seasons, winter and getting ready for winter. Yep, it's not as bad right here, but up in the north part of the state, it can be like that. Or northern Maine. Yeah, my dad and my stepmom lived in New Brunswick, and she said they get seasonal depression up there because that they basically have a non-existent fall and a non-existent spring. Um, it's basically just winter 9 months out of the year, and then in the summertime they have the cruise ship business, and it brings all the business into her business. But it's cruise ship season up there, or it's winter. And apparently in the summer they do a lot of filming up there. Hollywood comes to Canada. They film a lot in Canada. So they look forward to filming season and cruise ship season that brings in their business. And 9 months out of the year it sucks. Yeah, my dad was up in St. John, and I would assume my stepmother's still there if she's alive. I haven't heard from her. Yeah, I've just been over the border in Ontario, upstate New York, so I was already grown up and out of the house by the time my family moved to Canada. If they were going to move to Canada, I wish it had been 10 years sooner and then I could be a dual citizen. I could probably be a dual citizen now since my dad became a citizen. Yeah, my mom didn't do very well there. She left. The marriage busted up. She was not a proud Canadian. Now, my best friend who passed away, she's from Vancouver. So, she's a very famous Canadian. I love Canada. I love Canadians. I love Canada. But by the time my dad moved up there and then my mom went up there a little later, I was already grown up and had already started my career, so there was no reason for me to go. But it would have been, if it had happened 10 years sooner, it would have been a much nicer thing because then I would have got my dual citizenship. And I mean, I still would have come home to California at 18, but I would have had my dual citizenship. In fact, me and my good Canadian friend Kelsa Kinsley, we talked about that maybe because my dad became Canadian, that I could easily get my citizenship. But, she's passed away now, and there's no reason for me to have that or to go there now. I want to stay here. I love it here. I moved to California when I was a year old. I just I've lived every other place too, and I can't imagine being anywhere else. I have a fascination with Alaska, but it would be too cold for me there. I'd have to live in downtown Anchorage. I'd have to live next to Providence Hospital, and I'd have to make sure they have an electrophysiologist, cardiologist there. So it kind of sucked to move to cold Alaska if I wasn't well enough to go out and do anything and to see the beauty of Alaska. But I watch a lot of YouTubers up there. I got a lot of good YouTubers up there. Oh, it's not nice? Well, you would know pretty much because yeah, because you're in South Central Alaska. So is Anchorage a hole? Is it a crap hole? It looks so beautiful in all the videos. I know they have a lot of alcoholics there. They have a lot of alcoholism and they have a lot of drunk drivers that kill people. A lot of people get killed in either plane crashes or DUI crashes in Alaska. Hey, Darlene, thanks for coming in. Oh, Anchorage has a lot of homeless issues mixed with drugs and drinking. Boy, I don't know how the homeless would survive that cold. I'm sure a lot of them don't. Heck, a lot of them die here in LA, like in February when we would normally get rain. That's when the coroner's office, they have the biggest deaths here in LA in February with the homeless because of the rain. If we happen to have a year where it's raining, it rains about every 7 or 8 years here, and it's been raining nonstop here since November. The pre-Thanksgiving storm, which I missed most of in the hospital, then the Christmas storm, and now we're having the 10-day New Year's storm. But it will be clear on Friday, and pray that it stays clear on Friday because I know my neighbor that's taking me to the hospital and hopefully picking me up, she doesn't like to drive her car in the rain, even though it's just down the street. It's just like not even 2 miles from my house. It's next door to Disney, and my friends over at Days of Our Lives, they're right next door too. Yeah, I don't watch that show, but I know a lot of people on the show, so they're right next door to my hospital. The city dishes out a lot of money to house them in winter. A few years ago, they housed them in a large sports arena at the tune of 1.1 million a month. Oh, wow. And we have a lot of homeless here too. We have more homeless here in LA than most cities have population. I know there's people probably most of the people that are in this chat right now have a smaller population in the town that they live in than we have in homeless and that we have in gang members. Because I think we have like 70,000 gang members. Yeah. And now that I'm not active in the field anymore, I don't have to deal with that anymore. But the homeless is everywhere now, even Studio City, Toluca Lake, you know, everywhere. It's everywhere. It used to just be like Santa Monica, Venice, and the gangster stalkers are going down. Hey, Jared, thanks for coming in. Yeah, so for anybody that's here late, my today's surgery is postponed until Friday. I'm going to need some extra prayers because the doctor was diagnosed Monday night with COVID. Homeless was bad in LA when I was there in the late 80s and early 90s. It's nothing now. I mean, nothing then compared to now. I mean, it was bad. It's always been bad, but not like it is now. Now it's like really, really bad. And our mayor is absolutely uh, a worthless excuse for a human being. And I didn't vote for her. But we won't get into politics here. And I'm even in her political party, but I didn't vote for her because I didn't think she would do good. And she's been voted the worst mayor that Los Angeles has ever had. A lot of what she didn't do contributed to our city burning down last January. At least we probably won't burn this January. Now we're having, gas leaks and mudslides. And Christmas morning, there was I didn't know they had F0 tornadoes, but we had an F0 tornado in East LA. So out in the hood, we had but East LA is actually pretty nice. We had a tornado touchdown in Boyle Heights, 80-mile-an-hour winds. It just was a couple blocks, but they did confirm a tornado in East Los Angeles, Christmas Day morning. Wow, Curmudgeon, I wish you guys lived here now. I'm sure you don't, but that'd be nice to know somebody in the Gold community out in LA. If you ever get this way, just, give me a holler. I'll grab my cane and, we'll stumble down to Starbucks together and have something to eat. That would be great to meet you and Sarah. And I wish you tremendous luck. I saw your video, the new video, about what your new plans are for your rebuild and your cabin. And I think you've made a very good decision. I just hope everything's okay until you can, permanently move into that cabin because I know that you like to. You've got it rented out right now to Phyllis and Adam. So you know, hopefully you're gonna, everything's gonna be, the earthquake's not gonna like be too bad between now and spring, and you'll have time to, get relocated into your cabin. Yeah, most of the places that I would hang out and eat are here in the valley. Yeah, I used to have my little celebrity haunts that I would eat at. But you know what? When I worked in Brentwood, I you know, did a lot over there in the Palisades in Brentwood. I had my little hangouts over there too. Yeah, Venice has got a lot of good restaurants actually. I didn't even know until you told me that you'd lived in Venice. That's terrific. Venice is pretty bad now. Even the what's the guy from Australia? The crocodile guy, Crocodile Dundee. He lived there for decades, and he packed it up and moved back to Australia because I mean it was just too dangerous for me to walk outside of his door. He was right on the Ocean Way walk there, whatever it's called. Like he literally could walk out his door and be on the boardwalk. And oh, the Mexican food is the best. A lot of the Mexican restaurants are actually owned by, people from Mexico. And unless you live out west, you don't know like no Mexican food. Live out in Mexico or out west. Oh, near Muscle Beach, that's cool. Yeah, they're trying to clean it up down there. The sheriff's department has gone in there and like raided the homeless, but I remember about 3 decades ago when everything was in Santa Monica, and then Charlie Sheen, or not Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen, his father was the honorary mayor of Malibu before they were a city, and he told all the homeless in Santa Monica that they could come to the beaches in Malibu, and well, he lost his job as honorary mayor, and he was on everybody's crap list, and that's putting it mildly when that happened. uh, yeah, the people in Malibu did not take too kindly to that. He got on TV and told all the homeless to come to Malibu. But people come from all over the United States. That's the problem. They come out here because our weather's so good. But this week there's probably going to be a lot of them that aren't going to make it because it's getting really cold at night for here, and with that cold rain and the wind, it's just going to be too much for people. But I didn't know about Anchorage. I would think that Anchorage was a nice place. I know several families that have lived up in Eagle River, but that's like a family place. That's for parents that have kids, and there's a lot of Mormon families up there, and you know I don't have any kids, so I don't think there would be much for me to do in Eagle River, but it wouldn't really help me to be in Anchorage either at this point because I couldn't get out and enjoy Alaska. Alaska's about, being outside and being an outdoorsy person, and I just can't do that anymore. So I would just be in the apartment, running the heat all day long. I just would rather stay here, and I'll just, you know, have my friends, my YouTube friends from afar in Alaska. Yeah, it looks beautiful there. It's funny, I've never been to Alaska, but when they had that November 2018, that was right before my breast cancer diagnosis, they had that really bad earthquake, and there was a house that sunk in Eagle River that was destroyed. And it was a military couple that owned it, but they were on a base in North Carolina, an army base. And even though I've never been to Alaska, I know a few people there, but I think I know one that lives there now, but that I personally know. But even though I didn't know the people that owned the house that lived in an army base in North Carolina, um, I knew a family that lived 2 houses down. And it's like, that's how well I know Alaska, that there could be a catastrophic earthquake and only one house could be destroyed. And I would know the neighbors that were 2 houses down on the same street. Like, that's wild to me, considering I've never been to. I love you, bye. Okay, Silent Rob, stop motion. Thank you. Didn't see him before. Did he just come in? Well, thanks for the love, Silent Rob. We have 2 Robs in here. Oh yeah, it's just too funny, Curmudge, that I would know a family, and it was a YouTube family. I didn't know them personally, but they lived on the same street, and they were actually out of town. Um, they were in Georgia when it happened. They had gone for Thanksgiving to South Carolina and Georgia, and another YouTuber who's very famous, Corey Williams, he and Kristen had just sold their house in Eagle River, and they heard about it in Oklahoma, and they called the couple that I knew, a guy named David, who lived on that same street, not knowing that that was the street that was affected, and said, "Hey, are you guys okay?" And they were like, "Yeah, like what's going on?" And they're like, "Well, there's a big earthquake in Alaska." And he's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Oh no, our dog is there." And he called his pet sitter, and the guy was like, "Yeah, the dog is okay, the house is okay, but we have to evacuate right now because there's a house that fell into a sinkhole and it's caused a main, like a gas main, to break, and they're evacuating the whole neighborhood because the house might blow up." Like, then the lady who owned the house, her and her husband, they started a brief YouTube channel because they were stuck paying the mortgage for like 2 years after that, even though they didn't live in the house. And apparently, it all got resolved a couple years later. And they have since, I have heard they since have moved back. They're somewhere north of Anchorage and north of Eagle River. Um, so he must be back at J Bear, but like, yeah. And even they went back. So, I mean, it's just beautiful up there. Um, yeah. I don't think the earthquakes would bother me there. I mean, it's more seismically active than here, but we're pretty seismically active too, so that really wouldn't be a concern for me. Yeah, when that happened, they had the entrance and exit ramp to Eagle River was like destroyed, and they had it rebuilt in 72 hours. That's impressive. The Department of Transportation or whatever they're called up there in Anchorage, they had that section of freeway redone in 72 hours. Yeah, you are on the Ring of Fire. So is California. I've had a lot of friends from Japan, and so, they're on the Ring of Fire too. I've been dealing with earthquakes since I was a year old, so it doesn't bother me. Let's just not have one on Friday when I'm having surgery. Let's have me be safe from the anesthesia and that my heart is good. Let's have the doctor be safe considering that he would still have an active case of COVID. And let's hope that we don't have any earthquakes while I have the catheters in my heart. Yeah. And there's been some kind of weird stuff going on Instagram this past week or so saying that there's some catastrophic earthquakes that are going to hit California and, we're all going to die by the 30th or and then they keep bumping the days back. Like, first it was the 28th, then it was the 29th, and I don't even believe in that. Like, come on. And if we have a catastrophic earthquake, it's not going to be because, some Instagram people got on Instagram and said, oh, you're going to have a big one. Like, it would be really bad right now, though, because our ground is very saturated with water. And we already have liquefaction here. So with all this water, it would be really bad. That happened a few years ago. Actually, if you go into my videos, you can see an old video. We had a really bad storm and we had an Ojai quake on the same day, and like everything just like really, really was. I got it on my video. It's crazy. So yeah, I would take the risk, Rob. I just don't want you to take the risk. I don't want anything to happen to you guys in your house until you can to be back in your cabin, once Adam and Phyllis are out of there, you know. And I know you guys are so generous, you would never kick them out. And it's probably not big enough for you guys to be in there together because you need your privacy at our age. So, but I don't feel well with you guys being in that house, for another several months. I just hope everything's okay. Like, just you telling us that the wind is making the house move and you were showing the bouncing up and down, making the house move, like, oh my God. Ugh. And I know that house has a second story, so please, be careful. Please be careful, Kermudge. And don't overdo it when you move into the cabin, and you start tearing down the main house. And I know there's several other things you want to build on your beautiful property, but just, take it easy. It doesn't have to be done in one day. Just take your time and, be safe in that cabin is just, I love the cabin, and the view of Denali is just spectacular. Like, oh my gosh. And all the wildlife and it's just gorgeous there. Yeah, if it gets any worse, you will move back into the cabin. We have the man cave they can use if need be. Yeah, because they're not even there full time, right? They have the place that you mentioned the other day. So and I know he has to go work sometimes on the North Slope. So like, just get into that cabin as soon as possible because your safety comes number one. You and Sarah and the dogs. Oh, a week or two at a time that he's gone from the cabin. So, as far as I understand, they bought the place. Their property is the property next door to your property. Like their cabin is not the cabin that they are going to build is not actually on your property. It's going to be on their own property, but in the same area. Like you'll be neighbors now, which will be great. It'll help to have other people. There's safety in numbers. Oh, it's about a half mile away. Oh, okay. Still, that'll be nice to have your friends near. Thank God for the Flagstop train. You guys that are watching this, if you don't know what we're talking about, the Flagstop train that's in South Central Alaska. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Go check out Rob's videos on that. Curmudgeon, Alaska. Go subscribe to him. Yeah, he became a big YouTube star with the video about making the supply run on the Flagstop train. Wonderful video. That's just great to be able to ride the Alaska train. Oh, wow. Currently only 3 properties developed so far, 4 with Adam. Oh, wow. Yeah, and I know it doesn't run as often in the winter, so you don't really have access very often in the winter to your mail or like to Amazon package pickup and things like that, or even the grocery store. Where's my drink? I need to keep hydrating because of my heart. Hold on, let me just grab my drink. Let me grab my water. Thank you. I'm feeling super weak today because, yeah, I woke up this morning to the doctor's office calling me, telling me that my surgery was rescheduled for Friday. Like, what? Like, I want it right away, but I don't want to get COVID either. Oh, you have your friend Mary that sends your mail up on the train. Yeah. But the train only comes is it like once a week now in the wintertime? Let me get a little pocky here. Also, I'm in the process of hopefully getting some new mics soon. I'm on the old mic, so I hope you guys can hear me. I forgot to ask at the beginning of this video if anybody was having audio issues. Oh, nice, Rob. Wow. That's just gorgeous where you live. I'm so glad you were telling me about Anchorage. I didn't know that. I even have my favorite restaurant in Anchorage, and I've never been to Anchorage. Moose Tooth Pub and Pizzeria. I want to try their food so bad. North on Saturday and south on Sunday. First Thursday of the month tomorrow, it goes north and south the same day due to Hurricane Gulch. Oh, wow. Are you expecting anything on the train this week? Are you going to go meet the train? Is Mary sending up the mail? That's just amazing. And then you have to ride the little ATV, is it? To get to the train stop? You'll head in tomorrow to get a few things. However, the normal weekend train is not running, but they will run an extra hurricane train up on Saturday. So if you go down there tomorrow, what will you be able to get back? Because tomorrow's Thursday. Oh, it goes north and south on Thursday. Okay. So if you take the train on Thursday to go in and pick up a few things, you will come back. Oh, you will come back on Saturday. And I assume you'll take Sarah and the dogs with you? Okay. Yeah, I've heard about that. I watched some YouTubers up in North Pole, which is just, in the Fairbanks metro area, and it's been like minus 55. Okay, she's going to stay there to make sure the pipes don't freeze. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. And I guess Phyllis and Adam aren't up there right now. I heard that the ground is basically frozen this time of year, so I don't, can they even do construction this type of year or this time of year? Or do they have to wait until spring to continue building their cabin? Because I think it would just, it'd be very cold. If you had a bigger battery bank, you could go in and leave the toyo running. Oh, okay. Wow. That must be cold. Does he have to take the Alaska Highway? I've heard about that. The dirt road. What is it? Dirt and shale and something like that. Oh, he is logging the logs to build the log cabin. Oh, they fly him up. Okay. Yeah, you got the sawmill. Boy, that must be a big help having the sawmill out there. Oh, it's 12 midnight. Say Happy New Year to uh Porter 8247. Happy New Year. It's a 20-hour drive from there. Wow. Yeah, Alaska's big. Wow, Happy New Year, Porto. Yeah, I keep forgetting today is New Year's Eve because it was just going to be my surgery day, but I just want everybody here just to send me very, just whether you're religious or not, keep me in your prayers on Friday. Also, pray for the doctor who's saving all these lives because he's not well this week, but he should be a lot better by Friday, we hope. I hope he's not contagious because if I get COVID, that's going to be the end of me. I do have to have a much more gnarly procedure that's considered an outpatient. Well, even tomorrow's procedure is considered outpatient. Well, Friday's procedure is outpatient. And the procedure I'm having February 6th at a surgery center is also an outpatient procedure. But there's a lot of aftercare issues with that, with the stent. So, but we'll worry about that one in February. Let me get through Friday. This is basically it's a cleanup ablation, and it'll be a fourth of the time. The last one was about 4 hours. This will be about an hour and 10 minutes. So I'll have a lot less anesthesia, and hopefully I'll be able to just march myself downstairs and get in a neighbor's car and go home and hug my babies. Oh, are you in Ireland? I'm Irish, Porter. Can you guess? My hair's not very red anymore. That was the side effect of chemo. I'm not a redhead anymore, but I'm a natural born redhead. I'm British and Irish and quite a bit German actually. Didn't know I was as much German as I mean, we knew I was some German, but I did a couple of DNA tests, and because some of my mom's German relatives actually came over from Holland. So I think she thought, her heritage was more from the Netherlands, but um, those relatives that came from Holland were actually German, and she was not aware of that. And there's a German on my dad's side, and Welsh, and there's Irish on both sides. So British, Irish, and German. It's so cool to have somebody from Ireland. I think you were the first person. I hope you're subscribed and you can share this channel. Somebody came in earlier. There was a couple nasty people that came in here and said, "Is this a cancer channel?" And I said, "No. This is a variety channel, and I made it 5 years ago today, to be exact. Today is the 5th anniversary of April Davis PI. April Davis PI's YouTube channel, and that was just to document my life since my recovery from breast cancer. And there's been a lot of bumps, which has caused all these other problems. And, I have about 14% left on my battery. So I will have to go off at some point. Um, you were born with blonde hair, went strawberry, then mahogany, now brown with red highlights. Oh, do you have any redheaded children, Kermudge? Yeah, and I have not been successful. Like Kermudge, if you want to see a successful YouTube channel, everybody, you go subscribe to Kermudge in Alaska. Go subscribe to my friends Rob and Sarah. If you just want to see a variety, and when I say a variety, I've got everything in here from news to entertainment, and I do a lot of entertainment work in the PI business. Um, I've got my animals on here. I got zoo visits. I've got all the stories that are around here in Studio City and Toluca Lake, but a lot of the current events that are going on in the world. I'm sort of all over the place, but there's something for everybody. That's what I can tell you. Just go to my playlist and pick out whatever you're into, and there's plenty of videos. He is 26 today and has sandy blonde hair. Oh, wow. New Year's Eve, baby. Yeah, my mother was born blonde, but everybody else in my family's like super dark. Well, I don't have a choice. I don't feel very well today, but I think it's just the shock of waking up this morning to hearing that my surgery's rescheduled for Friday. And I knew that the doctor was already booked for next week, but they called and said that he wouldn't be available for surgery for me until the end of the month, the end of January, and that would then cancel out my kidney surgery. So, he's going to go in and do all of his Wednesday surgeries that he was going to do today. They're going to be done on Friday, including me. Funny seeing he is half Cuban from his mom's side, 25% Portuguese, Irish, Scottish. I'm Scottish and Welsh. And Native American make up the oh, wow. Wow. Maybe we're related, Kermudge. I'm Irish and a wee bit Scottish and Welsh. In fact, through some of this DNA and genetic research, I found out that some of my Welsh relatives actually moved to Ireland like in the 16 or 1700s, and they kind of took over the country. They were the royals. My dad would fall over dead if he had lived long enough to find that out. Yeah, my mom's Irish side, they were indentured servants, the Mahoney side, but he always thought his family was from Wales, and they were, but some of his family went over to Ireland and kind of took over the country. Yeah. Then most of his descendants, they all came over in the 1700s. Wow. Yeah. Well, basically, my relatives are all from Illinois, so I am the only one Rhode Island born. I'm a Rhode Islander, but only by birth. I'm definitely a Cali girl. And obviously, I'm not a native Californian because a native would never say the word Cali. That's like taboo. Don't say Cali if you're a Californian. Oh, I don't sleep at all, especially now. My sleep is probably done until after the surgery because I got to go to bed tonight and worry about this. And then tomorrow night, I got to stress with that. I'm going to be off some of my medication. Oh, wow. Well, Kermish, we must share some. Maybe we share some UK or Irish or Scottish relatives, and me with also with Porta Porter. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, did you do a DNA test, Kermudge? You should. I've done 23andMe and what's the main one? Not My Heritage, but there's another, the main one besides 23andMe I've done. I'm just on a lot of heart medication, blood pressure meds. That's it. Nothing narcotic. Nice. What's the other one? Ancestry. Ancestry.com. Yeah, I'm on Ancestry.com and I'm on 23andMe. So if any of you guys are on Ancestry.com or 23andMe, why don't you, you can go friend me over there and see if we're related. But I did some of the genetic tracing on Ancestry.com, and it was very shocking to find out about the Welsh people that went over and took over Ireland, and they were the royals, and like I'm related to the British royal family somehow. They were like, you know, some of the top people, I guess. Yeah, we never knew about the Irish on my dad's side. But they were the Welsh Irish, but he didn't know that. But there's German on both sides, so I found out it was a lot more German than I always knew I was a part German, but I didn't. I thought I was a little bit German, and it turns out I'm a lot German. But my entire family on both sides, they were already in the United States, like for hundreds of years. It's not like you know, they weren't around Germany when Hitler was around or anything like that. Thank goodness. Did you do a DNA, Rob, with or Kumraj? Did you do a DNA with Ancestry? Ancestry.com. I did 23andMe and then I did Ancestry. And so far, there's no mystery siblings and I'm definitely related to both of my parents. So, I only wish the stuff had been around when my dad was alive because it really helps to have a male on the male side of the family take the test. Yeah, you should definitely do it. Sarah should do it too. It's really interesting. It's fascinating. When you find out you have 5,000 cousins that you didn't know that you had. Yeah, I found out something really interesting through this, and I don't know. I'd have to compare my DNA to theirs, but when I was a little kid, I was fascinated with the baseball Boones, as in they're the descendants of Daniel Boone, and I found out that some of my family on my dad's side is related to Daniel Boone. There was basically before they were in Illinois, they were in the Northwest Territory of North Carolina. It was not a state; it was a territory, and there were four families that established Northwestern Territory of the territory of North Carolina, and it was the Davises, the Boones, the famous Royal Bryants from Ireland, and someone named the Carters. And that over the years, the Davises, the Boones, the Bryants, and the Carters, all their different, generational, uh, from generation to generation, those families, married into those other families. And that's how the Davises became related to the Boones. And then I am related to Daniel Boone, and so are the Boones from baseball. And it's crazy because I've been on one of their properties when the dad played for the Philadelphia Phillies when I was a kid, and it's like, wow, I didn't know I could be related to the baseball Boones. That's for me being a baseball person. I think that's pretty cool. Oh wow! And just so you know, the battery is running low, but I'm still here. Um, Wow, that's interesting though about your son being a blonde, a Cuban blonde. He must be very handsome. Must be all that Northwestern European blood that came out. Yeah, I've also recently found out because these tests are constantly being updated in the system, the results, and there was a little bit of Southern Europe, but they weren't sure where. And now that more and more people are putting in, their DNA, um, I am 3.5% Italian. So I'm German, British, Irish. I'm a little wee bit Finnish, and I'm a little wee bit 3.5% Italian, approximately. And there's a little percentage that's from somewhere in Eastern Europe, but that hasn't yet been determined. Um, could be Russia, could not be Russia. There's a little bit of that blood in me, just a wee bit. But overall, German, Irish, and British. Irish have Viking DNA and Norman French DNA and British DNA. Yeah, that's true. That's so cool. You're here from Ireland. Make sure just blast my channel out in Ireland. I'd love to have some of my Irish friends on here. That's fantastic. How'd you find me, Porter Porter? And are you a subscriber? I hope you are. And you guys just go to the playlist. Most people that are successful on YouTube have niche channels, and I do not have a niche channel, so therefore I'm not successful. But today I just realized it's the 5th anniversary, and I just hit 1,600 while it was like that's laughable compared to somebody like Rob. Rob actually makes money on YouTube. Oh, there goes the battery warning. Yeah, I might have to go get the plug. So then I'll have to disconnect my mic. And can you hear me today? Because I am going to get some Rode mics when I can afford them, but it's either that or the ambulance bill. Not a whole lot. Let me take the mic off and tell me if you can hear me better. Oh, you can hear me good? Okay. Oh, thanks for the subscribe. You subscribed tonight? Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, everybody just say prayers for Friday and prayers for my doctor who's currently a COVID patient and that I don't get COVID. I have to have this heart surgery as soon as possible so that I can have my one remaining kidney stone removed. It is too big to move on its own. I did feel a little twinge the other day in bed, like just for a second. And I was like, because they asked me, am I having pain? And I said, my low back is so bad, I wouldn't even know. But I did feel a little weird twinge that I have never felt before. And I was like, oh my God, it's a stone. And all the other ones moved out on their own. They all got evicted. They just left on their own. But this one's getting evicted. This is going to be a serious procedure. And not this, it's a procedure itself, but the aftercare and the stint and basically I hate to say it, but having to piss in a hat. You'll have to piss in a hat. I hate to use that word. Does it sound any better to say I'll have to urinate in a hat? Yeah. And they said, well, yeah, the stint it's uncomfortable. Yeah, that means it hurts. There was a guy that worked for me. He had a stent for that same purpose, and he got septic shock and was in the hospital for 40 days and almost died. Yeah. So there's a lot. I got a lot on my plate. Oh, I did buy a Powerball ticket the other day. I hardly ever buy that, but it was like 1.6 billion or something. Then it went up to 1.8. I did buy a ticket. It was $2, and I won a whopping $5. Yeah. So no more lottery money for me. I took my $5, put it in my pocket. Won't help me at all if I don't survive. So if I survive, I can deposit that $5 into my bank account along with my Facebook Marketplace money. But I'd be more prudent to do that after the first. That would be more wise to do after the first. Don't want to have to claim that $5 on my taxes, you know. Oh, okay. Yeah, you have a much better tax situation up there. Oh, you do have a state-run one. Okay. Oh, but you don't have the federal, the ones that are like the Powerball and the Mega Millions and things like that. Yeah, you might have a better chance on the smaller ones, to tell you the truth. Do you have scratchers in Alaska? Yeah, somebody, I'm not going to name them, but somebody in the gold community, I sent them a scratcher for Christmas 2024. And actually, two people. One person won like $4, and they just sent the ticket back to me, and I then mowed them like $4 or whatever. But somebody else that I sent a ticket to had won $30, and they never cashed it. They never told me about it. And more than a year later, their Christmas card arrived, and they put that used ticket in there. And I did the math. They won $30, and it's too late because you have to cash them in 180 days, within 180 days of the contest. Oh, no prices over 500. Yeah, let me go. I gotta go grab my plug really quick. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to turn off my sound for just a moment here. I will not be able to plug in the the mic and the charger at the same time. So I have to lift this camera right now off the tripod. I'm sorry if it's a little bit shaky. I have to disconnect the sound. Let me know if you can even hear me at this point. And I have now, oh, this is a new charger too. It's not going to sit very well in the tripod. Hold on. Yeah, it's a little too long. Well, maybe you guys can see me a little bit. Can anybody hear me now? Yeah, the bottom of this tripod is like pushing on this cord. Can anybody hear me now? Just one person? Can somebody say in the comments if they can still hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Good. Is it less now that this and this is now turned off? Okay. I can hear it raining. It's going to rain for 2 days, and we're going to have a break during my surgery day, which is nice, so my neighbor won't have to drive in the rain. And then it's going to rain like indefinitely. Oh, it's just a pinch, but not bad at all. Okay. Yeah, I really want, I want a Rode mic for the Wi-Fi, and then I need another, I want like a Yeti or something for the desktop. You want snow? 2 inches. You know, we don't have that much snow in California right now either, at least not in Southern California. I'm sure the storm's bringing a lot up north to the Sierras, but there's not been a lot of snow like at Big Bear and places like that this year so far. Although it did snow at Mount Baldy the other day, and there's 3 teenagers that died. And that's not far, Mount Baldy. Probably about 45 minutes. Ceremonics for recording and a cheapie for your podcast. Need a better one. Yeah, I need it. I've been saying it for 5 years. And all this stuff just keeps happening to me. Oh, I'll have to look at that, Jeffrey. Yeah, you know, you're in New Hampshire, is that correct? Yeah, I will watch it as soon as I get off of this. -5 in Ireland. The whole country is in emergency. Oh, wow. Yeah, you know, before I was born, my parents had 2 foster sons, and one still lives in Connecticut, where he lived with them, and the other one lives in New Hampshire. Darn if I can remember the name of the town right now. It's a very small town. I've been there once, but I think they moved a second time since then. But they've been there most of their lives. So I have foster family connections in New Hampshire. I'm trying to remember the name of the town. I can't think of it right now. Is there a Hillsborough, New Hampshire? It might have been that. I haven't been there since the 6th grade, since, you know. Oh, there is, okay. That might have been where they lived. But their kids are grown, and one of them lives out in San Diego now, so one lives in Seattle. Like, some of their kids are out west now, but my parents are both passed away, and I don't know if they're even aware that their foster parents have died. Yeah, that's where it is. Okay, it was they live in Hillsborough. And they got a bunch of kids and a bunch of grandkids. And I have not seen the guy since I was in the 6th grade. And the other one, I don't think I've seen him since 2nd grade. He's the one in Connecticut, the other one. They were basically raised by my parents before I was born. I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in a big city. I'm in a rainy and cold Los Angeles right now. But not cold like Alaska cold or New Hampshire cold, but, you know, cold for LA. I mean, I'm wearing short sleeves and shorts right now. I'm wearing this little stupid beanie so I could clip my my Wi-Fi mic, and I have no makeup on because of, you know, I don't need to get makeup on. In fact, I'll have to take my nail polish off before surgery, supposedly. Ridiculous. Take my earrings out of my ears. All my scars are showing, all my battle scars. That is so cool to have somebody from Ireland, because I'm part Irish. I have a good friend here in Los Angeles that's Irish. Oh, yeah. It's the best. But Ireland, I mean, I got my roots in Ireland. Yeah, I've been to their house in Hillsborough, but I think they've since sold that house and bought a second house. But I think they're still in the same town or close thereby. The guy was, he was a teacher, and then he got into, like, computers. He went and got it, like, a master's or something in computers, and the whole family, they're, like, all, like, teachers. And they were in their late teens. They lived with my family before my parents had their own children. Oh, you're 85%? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Then you should do a DNA test too, Kelly, because we might be related. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Oh, did you do 23andMe or Ancestry, Kelly? Yeah, my Irish relatives on my mom's side, their last names were Mahoney. And then the Davises that came in from Wales that took over Ireland like in the 1700s, they were Davises, but then they married into the Bryants, the famous Bryants, and that's where the royal blood came in, was through the Bryants. So I'm related to the royal Bryants. And they were, princesses, and I mean, they were like related to the queen. Like, I was like, I didn't even know they had royals in Ireland. But the British royals came over and then they took over Ireland, and it was the Irish Bryants that established the territory of North Carolina with the Davises and the Boones. 23andMe. Oh, okay, I'm on 23andMe. Wow. We'll have to check to see if we're related. We got to get Kermudge to get into the game here. Kermudge, go get your 23andMe or your Ancestry. Yeah, I remember that while I was there, I got to go to that famous, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correct, but I went to Lake Winnipesaukee, and they were having one of the worst heat waves they had ever had. And my mom was extraordinarily ill on that trip. She needed a major eye surgery that she could have actually died from because her pressure was so high, and she was already blind in that eye. And they said she could have lost her other eye, and it was really, really bad. And it all happened while we were on that trip. And nobody up there had AC because, it's New England, and it was like 100 degrees. So we went to the lake for the day, Lake Winnipesaukee, and then I think it was about a year later that the movie came out on Golden Pond, and it was all like took place there, and I was like, hi, I've been there, yeah. That's where it was Peter Fonda, not Peter Fonda, Henry Fonda, and Henry Fonda, Jane Fonda, and Catherine, what's her name? One of the most famous actresses that ever lived. What was her name? Yeah. So I kind of enjoyed that movie because it was like, oh yeah, I was on that lake. What? It just says you have a twin? They started and the initial information was recorded. I had several more smaller tests that I took. What? What? You have a twin? Yes. Yeah, Katharine Hepburn. I was like, couldn't think of her name. Yeah. That was a great movie. That kid actor that was in it, he never moved forward after that. It messed up. Well, when I had the test the first time, it said I was 1% Jewish. And I guess my cousin's kids took the test, and apparently they came up Jewish too, but we're not Jewish. And now that has since it's come off our records, and suddenly I'm Italian. That's fine with me. I've been to Italy. That's cool. I knew I was like a little bit of Finnish in somewhere in Eastern Europe, possibly Russia somewhere. We don't really know. They don't know yet. Because there's just a wee bit of Eastern European or Russian. And then there's the Finnish, and there's the Italian, but it's mostly German and Irish and British, including Scottish and Welsh. That's all part of the UK. You were a twin. That's so funny. You better check into that. That's so funny. Oh my God. I wish my parents had a ton of kids, but they didn't. And, now there's nobody. I'm an orphan now. Yeah. My foster brothers, I don't even think they know like where I am. They were only there part-time after I was born. They had already had to move on. So I don't really know them. One's Italian. The one in Connecticut is Italian. And then the guy in New Hampshire, I don't have a clue. So yeah, that was a long time ago. Most people don't know that my parents had foster kids before they had me. 4% African. Wow, that's cool. I didn't have any African. I'm 0%. I have no Native American, no Indian blood. I'm like, 90 some percent. I'm 100% European, and I'm like 90 some percent Northwest European. And then just the wee bit Italian and the wee bit Finnish and the wee bit Eastern European. Yeah, I don't remember what my Neanderthal, I can't even speak right now. Oh, that's cool about the African. Does it say where in Africa? Because Africa is a very big continent. I have 0 Asian, 0 Black African, 0 Native, no Spanish. Oh wow, that's so cool. You should look it up. Let me know. That's so cool. You'll have to look up and see if we're related. If we're both on 23andMe. Now we got to get Kermudge in Alaska to get into 23andMe. It's really fun. I wanted my mom to do it, but she didn't want to, she didn't have any income. She didn't want to spend the money. So she was like, well, maybe someday. And I knew that meant she wasn't going to do it. And my dad, he had already passed away. So, oh, Mozambique. Wow, that's fascinating, Kelly. Mozambique. Yeah, for all my new people that are coming into this, if you're still in the chat, make sure you're subscribed and you want to go into my playlist and just know that this is a variety channel and it's not a cancer channel at all. It's just about my life since cancer and it's, the whole time I've been on the air, I've been thinking about this, and not stressing about my surgery. What's horrible? Oh, Mozambique? Is that what you meant? We need to get wood in for the night shower and make some grub. Hope to see it a bit on JP and Mama Bird's live. Great big hugs from us. We will be praying. Thank you. Hugs back to you. Give I think Sarah, is she in here? Give her my love as well if she's not in here anymore. But if she is, thank you, Sarah. Oh, they were brought here. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's why a lot of Americans are mixed, partly mixed with other races because they were brought in as slaves. She is upstairs. I will tell her, check your email later. Okay, I will. Love you, Karaj. I wish I could meet you guys. I just want to hug you guys so much and just say I just love you. I love your channel and you're just everything on YouTube that I could never be. But that's okay. That I'm so happy for your success and for your friendship. And you're just fascinating people and I just adore her. She's so sweet. And your dogs too. I love them. But you guys have a good night and Eat well. And I'll see you on Mama Bird's channel. And Kelly, if you know, I know you're not a member of the gold community, but you're happy, feel free to come over and just meet everybody. Oh, who is this? Is this somebody new? Khadija. Who is Khadija? Introduce yourself. I'm going on at 6 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock Central Time. Who is Khadija Camille? Thank you, Jeffrey. I'll see you later on the on Mama Bird's live. Who is Khadija? Please introduce yourself. Where are you from, Khadija? Khadija Camille, a KK. Oh, that's a very good. See, everybody in my family, my friends are all A's and K's. Curtis and the Hippies are on. Okay. Oh, you mean that Cheddar guy? Cheddar Curtis? It'd be 6 o'clock Central Time because they're in Missouri. It'll be, no, it'll be 8 o'clock Central Time. It'll be 6 o'clock LA time, Pacific, 8 o'clock Central, and 9 o'clock East Coast. Sorry about that. Oh, Annie Stevens, okay. And B&B. Oh, you mean Bob. Oh, they're on right now. Okay. I get it. So Curtis and Hippies and Bob at B&B Prospecting and Annie from, okay. Okay, I'll see you later, Jeffrey. Thank you for coming. Ma Grandmere. Where are you? What country are you in, Khadija? Kelly, do you know what that is? Can you look that up for me, Maud? Kelly Maud? Oh, you're in France. Okay. I was just going to ask you, were you in France? I've been to France. In fact, two people that I was at a Christmas Eve party with are on a plane to France. They're going to Paris tomorrow. Two of my New Year's Eve, or not New Year's Eve, but Christmas Eve party friends are going to Paris from LAX tomorrow. I have been to Paris. Are you near Paris, Khadija? Wow, we've got somebody from Ireland and we've got somebody from France in here. This is fantastic. Sorry, I'm eating a Pocky stick. Do you guys have that in France? They come in chocolate and strawberry. Give me a little sugar boost. Wow, France. Ma Grandmere. I can't pronounce French. Is that the first place that you, is that actually, like, I can't look it up right now because I'm on the phone, but is that the city? The M.A. Grand. I don't know my French. I'm pretty good with the Spanish as far as being able to pronounce it, you know, living in California, so. I did take a wee bit of Spanish in high school. Well, you know, I need to eat something. Before I go live with, I want to join the New Year's Eve show with Mama Bird and GP. That's Gentleman Prospector. That's her husband. So, wow, I got 12 likes. Fantastic. Okay, everybody, we're going to call this a wrap. Thanks for coming. Make sure to give me a thumbs up. Make sure to give me a follow. And you guys that are in France and Ireland, please share my channel. I appreciate you. If anybody wants to come over and see me later on chat, you can come over to Mama Bird. We're going to be in a New Year's Eve chat and Gold Party from Missouri. Okay, I don't, okay. Well, we know she's from France. Thank you for coming, and for those that are going to come over to Mama Bird's channel, I'll see you a little later. Have a good night.